All right, guys, we're starting a little bit early today, an hour early to be exact. I forgot to mention this last week, but I got family in town this week. They're probably actually watching me from the other room. Um, but yeah, I got family in town this week, so I won't be able to go live every day at 2. I'm going to still try to do a live stream every day this week, but the time might vary because, got family in town. We might be doing different stuff at different times. So I'll try to squeeze in a live stream when I can this week. So today we're just an hour early. Please, everybody, if you wouldn't mind, give it a thumbs up on your way in. Please share it, get it on social media. Thanks to everybody who supports my work, whether you send prayers, emails, all that good stuff. Appreciate it. God bless you all for being here. Now, you remember how I said I should start incorporating positive stories to my live streams, like at the very beginning, just try to share some positive story, something that maybe isn't political, just something that, can lighten the mood because everything is just so dark and heavy right now. Well, that's actually hard work, which kind of proves the point, right? Like I was actually looking for a story this morning to share to the point where I actually Googled positive news stories and I didn't get anything. Like I got nothing, or I got some stuff from like a year ago. But like it's actually hard to look for it. That's how underreported news stories are that are positive or uplifting or unifying. When you search for them, they're hard to find. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of sad because I even Googled like happy news stories and I still got stories about murder and like rape and like kidnapping and stuff. It's crazy. We're constantly bombarded with news stories that just drag down our mood and just keep us in a state of anger or fear. But I'm trying to get, there's got to be a website dedicated to that. If not, maybe I need to start it. Maybe that's a calling. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm looking for positive news stories to try to plug in here and there, like the one I shared last week of the woman that's no longer has to walk home from work because some sheriffs in her county got her a car. I just think it's important to try to incorporate that. And you guys seem to give some feedback that you feel the same way. Anyway, this is going to be a shorter live stream. Actually, I'll probably be wrapping up right around 1:30, so I'm going to go through these really quickly. But I want to start first and foremost by saying that I'm totally just disgusted by what's happening with Owen Shroyer. Owen Shroyer did nothing wrong, and unfortunately, his fate is all of our fate if we don't speak out, if we don't stand up. So you have to even choose your words carefully because the whole reason he has been there's several reasons obviously why he has been targeted, but one of them is they took his words to mean something else, which we saw them do with several other people as it relates to January 6th. When you use the terms like it's time to stand up and fight back, they took it to mean literally go and fight back. Like that's not political rhetoric. That's not rhetoric that you hear in sports. That's not common rhetoric that you've ever heard. Like you got to fight for your rights. They take it literally when applied to conservatives, right? So anyway, this story is really crazy to me. First of all, this guy is, in my opinion, an American hero for some of the work that he's done. I mean, a lot of the news that I'm able to bring to you guys, a lot of stuff that you're hearing from me for the first time is because I'm getting it directly from his show. You guys know that I was listening to the War Room on the regular. So I was hearing all these news stories that were underreported or mainstream conservatives weren't really talking about it. So that's kind of a blow to some of the news coverage that I'm able to bring. Obviously, I'll still be able to find that stuff, but that's where I was getting a lot of it is from watching InfoWars. A lot of what they say, they come with the receipts, right? So anyway, I'm going to share my screen real quick because what they're saying is he has been arrested for being at like inside of the Capitol, essentially. So here you can see, here's the photo of Owen Shroyer right here in this circle on Capitol grounds, right there on Capitol grounds. And he had to turn himself in. Now they said that was in violation of a previous like semi-restraining order. But look at all of these other people just standing there peacefully, standing there, not even holding the bullhorn. Here's Alex Jones holding the bullhorn right here, right? I'm gonna make it full screen because some of you may not have seen this photo already. Some of you might have. There's Alex Jones holding the bullhorn, and over to the right in this red circle, that's Owen Shroyer outside of the Capitol. Now, this is their security detail. Here's Alex Jones bullhorning, telling people not to go in the Capitol. To stop, he tried to stop him. I think that's the main reason why Alex Jones hasn't been indicted, because you know that he would be the first one they would want to take down. Okay, so Alex Jones is actually bullhorning, trying to de-escalate the situation. And because he's on video telling people not to go inside the Capitol, I think that kind of saved him. And because they couldn't bring him down, they went after his right-hand man. His right-hand man that was doing damage to the mainstream narratives on COVID, on the vaccine, on the election, on all of the things that we are not talking about enough within the conservative movement, in my opinion. And that's why you've seen me talk a little bit more about it lately, because I'm like, man, we have to continue. We have to keep this up. We have to keep this momentum up. But anyway, this article, right? Don't clown me for using this, but this is Right Wing Watch, right? Obviously ridiculous. Why would anyone take this seriously? But this is the narrative about Owen Shroyer to justify to the normies out there. Charged in connection to Capitol insurrection, InfoWars, Owen Shroyer raises legal defense funds on Christian website, which let me go ahead and plug that for you guys right now. GiveSendGo.com/G27P2. But if you just type in, hold on, I had to type it in myself here. There's, I'll get you guys the official link, but if you go to GiveSendGo, you can donate to his defense fund right now. Their goal is $250,000. They raise $168,000 so far. So they're more than halfway to the goal. But go support this man. This is somebody that confronted Congress when they ran that sham impeachment against Trump. He went and confronted him. And I got that clip too. I want to play that. But this Right Wing Watch, what is this? This website is kind of stupid. Anyway, he's been charged with disorderly conduct and entering a restricted area for his actions on January 6th. So they targeted him, but not everyone else in the area, right? Over the weekend, Shroyer began raising funds for his legal defense, first on GoFundMe. Then, when the crowdfunding platform removed the campaign from his site, he moved to a Christian crowdfunding site. I love how they have to call that out to make it sound like Christians, they support this right-wing extremism. I'm just going to not go on a tangent, but it's funny. There needs to be a left-wing watch. Anyway, announcing the DOJ warrant on his show Friday, Shroyer professed his innocence, claiming that he would turn himself in on Monday morning. He also wasted no time in starting a GoFundMe campaign for himself. Yeah, because he's innocent. He did nothing wrong. So why wouldn't he do that? Yeah, GoFundMe shut down his original fundraiser. No surprises there because they're basically political. If he had, burned down some businesses, if he, attacked some innocent people on a subway, or if he pulled down a monument, he could probably raise some money on GoFundMe. But because he has the wrong politics, you can't raise money on there on GoFundMe. It's sad. But anyway, they're targeting him because he is a high-profile figure. That's what they want. They want to try to make an example of him. And I don't know if he's going to be in solitary confinement, guys, or not. But when I heard the news last week, I reached out to him immediately. This is somebody that I met multiple times. He's had me on the show, his show, at least 4 or 5 times over the years. I've actually had him on my channel before. I might even repost that interview if people want to watch it before YouTube tries to take it down for hate speech. But this is a good dude. I got good energy from him. I bet him and Alex Jones, good people. Whether or not you agree with them or like them, he did not commit a crime. Again, he's standing on the stairs of the Capitol, not inside, not holding any weapons, not inciting violence, but this stupid right-wing watch is using the accusations that he said, here's the quote, Americans are ready to fight. We're not exactly sure what it's going to look like, perhaps in a couple of weeks, if we can't stop the certification of this fraudulent election. He said, we are the new revolution. That's what he said. And I believe he said that on air, or he said it to a crowd. I mean, what is the harm in that? This is, I remember how I said, guys, whatever's happening in Australia can happen here. That's why I've been laser focused on that country right now, because that was a once proud Western country. They gave up their guns, and now here they are. It just excelled. It's like overnight, Australia has become a dystopian hellscape, and it can happen here. If they can arrest you for words at a building, outside of a building, using words, that's their justification, then that's his fate. That can be your fate too. It's just crazy. This is scary stuff. But anyway, this says the following day, Shroyer and Jones, whom Shroyer often follows to public events to give up crowd enthusiasm, marched to the Capitol, where then President Trump had just told supporters to fight like hell. See, they took it to mean literally. But all the other times when any liberal politician, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of this over the years of people saying, we got to fight this time. Guys, we got to fight in the election. Not until this time did they say, oh, you guys, when you said fight, you meant literally go and start punching people. When in reality, I mean, when they said, when you see anybody at that cabinet, get out and go create a crowd and push back on them, what happened? You actually saw people get attacked. So this is not about them trying to cool down the temperature of what's going on in the country. This is politically motivated. This is Biden's Department of Justice targeting the opposition. This is political persecution. He is effectively going to be a political prisoner. I don't know if he's going to be able to bond out right away. I don't know what the situation is. All I know is he had to turn himself in, which you could probably make the argument, why the hell would you turn yourself in? Obviously, that looks bad. If you don't turn yourself in, it just makes things worse. But you'd also be standing on firm ground, knowing that you're innocent. Why are you being charged with anything? You didn't commit a crime. So it's kind of alarming that people won't talk about this. Like Tucker actually talked about it. That's good. But I don't think you're going to hear Ben Shapiro make a mention of it because he doesn't care. Because they, like I said, there's a handful of conservatives in the elite conservatives, air quotes, elite, that want to distance themselves from people like Alex Jones, Owen Shroyer, Paul Joseph Watson, Mark Dice, people that they see as far right. Remember, Ben Shapiro once called Ron Paul far right, Trump far right. So because of that, because they want to, distance themselves from people like Owen Shroyer, they're going to leave this alone. You don't ever even hear them talk about January 6th. In fact, when they do, they pretty much throw all the Trump supporters under the bus. That's why I say a lot of them are controlled opposition. So, yeah, this stupid article is just saying that his rhetoric of him saying, we're ready to fight, we are the revolution, means that he had something to do with what happened on January 6th, even though he's literally standing next to a man that's saying, don't go inside. You guys need to stop. This is just them targeting him. But I want to play the clip of him going to Congress. For people that don't think that this is an act of heroism, this right here, this is from 2 years ago. He went off on Congress. And this is one of the reasons he got arrested 2 years ago. But again, where's the crime in this? This made him a badass, in my opinion.
Jerry Nadler and the Democrat Party are committing treason against this country. And you can kick me out, but he's the one committing crimes. You are, Jerry Nadler. You're the one committing treason. America's done with this. America's sick of the treason committed by the Democrat Party.
See, he's not resisting arrest, speaking his mind. What's wrong with
We
this?
voted for Donald Trump, and they're simply removing it because they don't like it. Americans are sick of your impeachment, Shanna. They're sick of the Democrat treason. We know who committed the crimes, and it wasn't Trump. Trump is innocent.
How many people do you know that are brave enough to do that? Brave enough to go, I don't know if I could do that. So that put him on the radar right there. If he wasn't already on the radar just for simply working at InfoWars, that really put him on their radar. And, you know, he got arrested for that, went back the next day with a censored, like a piece of duct tape over his mouth that said censored, got arrested again. I think he actually spent a night in the DC jail. And ever since then, he's been on the front lines of truth. And to see somebody like him get arrested for, and I've seen people, I've talked to people, I have friends actually here in Florida who've had the FBI show up at their house. They're not just trying to get people who took the selfies in Nancy Pelosi's office. They're not trying to get people that actually were being aggressive. They're trying to get people who were just there. They're trying to get people who knew people that were there. You know, this is scary stuff, guys. This is not a game. They are literally taking political prisoners in solitary confinement. Some of them have been in jail, haven't been able to see family or anything since January or early February. Whenever they started arresting people, they're still in solitary confinement. I don't know if anybody's been charged with insurrection. I don't know if anyone has been charged for carrying a weapon on federal grounds. I don't know if anybody's been charged with that, but there's been people charged with trespassing. How many people do you know that have been charged with trespassing and then immediately get put into solitary confinement? And you're going to tell me this is not politically motivated? This is 100% politically motivated. So website is givesendgo.com/G27P2. That's not the official. I'm pretty sure you can just type in Owen Shroyer and get the matter of fact, I want to make sure I give you guys the right one. So we'll just go right back to their website so we can find it, because I had it pulled up, and when you pull it up, it doesn't show what you have to type in. But here we go. defendowen.com. I don't know why that slipped my mind. defendowen.com, which would take you to the Christian website Give, Send, Go. So help raise money. This one hits kind of close to home for me, and I'm going to be following this closely to see how this plays out, because they've effectively taken a powerful voice off air indefinitely. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to bond out today. I really don't know. I'm going to follow it, but this one hits closer to home, because this is one of the people that I know that actually is a good dude. So we're going to move on, but make sure you go visit this, visit this website if you want to support, help the man out, because he's been fighting for this country, and we have to stick together ultimately. Not just him, all the people who are in solitary confinement. I can't really speak for everyone in there because I don't know what they did. I don't know them, but somebody that I know personally, I can say, let's help the man out. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about, and this in the headline, and I saw a few people may have gotten triggered just because I put in the title, Trump booed at the Alabama rally. But let me explain. Now, I know mainstream media is talking about it. Oh, look at Trump supporters, or I don't even know what the narrative is they're trying to spin. I think they're trying to spin the narrative like his base is so radical that even when he promotes something sane, they turn on him. That's not even how it was at all. Okay. Now, I'll play the clip so you can hear for yourself. Trump was booed momentarily. It wasn't like get off stage, Trump. It wasn't like people turned on him. They just expressed disapproval for his take on the vaccine.
India is doing so well. India is being decimated right now. We did a great job on that. The ventilators, the equipment that we got, the cupboards were all bare, everything that we did. And then we developed a vaccine, 3 vaccines in 3 months, in 9 months. And actually, I'll tell you, It was 3 days less, 3 days less than 9 months. And it's great. And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. Bree, you got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But you got, no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine. If it doesn't work, you'll be the first to know. Okay? I'll call up Alabama and say, hey, you know what? But it is working.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That's the comment. That's the reaction. Now, from my vantage point, there were a significant amount of boos, but it wasn't that they were angry. It was that they were saying, no, Trump, please stop talking about this. And I kind of like this. I like that people are booing, because here's the thing. Trump has his finger on the pulse of what conservatives and what his base thinks. At least it seems like he does now, because the way he responded to it, you see how he was like, well, I think it's great. I think you should take it. But also, I respect the fact you got your freedoms. You got your freedoms. He's not saying you need to go out and do it. It's bad. He didn't spend any further time. That was it. After he said, I think you should take it. We developed it. He's obviously proud of it. He's saying you guys should take it. I took it, and he made a joke of it. He moved on. But the fact that he heard the audience boo and then he changed direction is a good thing. That's good. That means that people aren't just mindlessly clapping like seals and like, oh, it's Trump. He said something. Let's clap. It's like they're saying, actually, Trump, I'm not a fan. That's a non-starter. And he responded. That's how you get things done. You got to get the people who that you look to for leadership, that you think have your best interest. You have to let them know, hey, this isn't going to work, or we don't support that. We're not in favor of that. Let's see if he maybe doesn't brag about it anymore. I don't know. It remains to be seen. I know a lot of people have turned on Trump over this vaccine, but I happen to be of the opinion that before Trump developed the vaccine, or before he, started pushing the Operation Warp Speed, I didn't have a problem with vaccines. I never talked about vaccines. I never thought anything of them. I'm just like, yeah, vaccines are out there. There's obviously some good ones. And then when he announced Operation Warp Speed, the first thought in my mind was, okay, this is probably what will get the economy going again. If there's just, this will help put the public's mind at ease. That's what I thought. But then I also thought, well, is this going to be mandatory or optional? And in my mind, because Trump was still in office at the time, I thought, okay, well, I mean, he's promoting it. I don't see any reason why this would be bad. I don't see anything. Fast forward to 2021, here we are, where they're about to make it mandatory. It's about to be mandatory, especially now that Pfizer just got an official FDA clearance, rubber stamped, ready to go. Now we're going to see the big rollout of medical tyranny. Now we're going to see a two-tiered society. Now we're going to see segregation. But I don't know how you tie that to Trump. He actually believed in, he maybe doesn't support Big Pharma, but he believed in this vaccine. So that's what I'm saying is, back in 2020, this seemed like, okay, well, we're in this pandemic. He's running for re-election. He wants to try to get the economy back on track. And he wants to try to develop this vaccine. But now I feel like he should be looking at the mandates, the fact that people are losing their jobs, the fact that people are being segregated, people are being ostracized and denied access to basic goods and services because they haven't gotten this medical procedure. I personally would like to hear him say something about that. I'm pretty sure everybody that booed him still loves him, but they wish that he would change his tune on it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It was just something that caught my eye that he got booed, because previous rallies, when he announced, or when he would, pat himself on the back essentially about, rushing the vaccines, and we did it, Operation Warp Speed was great, people would just clap. They would clap and cheer. Then over time, the claps got less enthusiastic, and then people weren't saying anything. And now I think they're basically saying, all right, we need you to take a different stance. And so he softened his stance a little bit on it. to where, in this particular instance, he just said, you have your freedoms, but I think you should take it. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with someone saying, hey, it's available. I think you should do it, but go for it. If you want to be free, you have a right to do that. That's the appropriate stance. In fact, they don't necessarily even need to say, I think you should. Just make it available. Let us get the information. Tell us where we can research it and all of that. And then if people want to take it in its experimental phase, let them do it. This concept of liberty is not complicated. It is not. Freedom to choose. That's it. It's really simple. But I think it's very interesting. And like I said, I'll reiterate, I think it's a good thing that people gave him, told them what they felt and by booing, because they couldn't just shout like, hey, Trump, why don't you say this specific thing instead? Them booing was saying, hey, we love you, but we ain't feeling this vaccine, this talk. So that's it. So yeah, even though the media is trying to make it seem like, are his supporters turning on him, or are they really that crazy? It's really nothing. But from my vantage point where I was standing, it sounded like a lot of boos. But that's it. We'll move on to the topic. I really don't want to talk about this at all, but I have to, because this one's tough. This one is tough. So Australia they have reached a new low when it comes to public health and trying to keep everyone safe, because now they are killing dogs. I just lost the article. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit today. I actually don't even need the article. I can just talk about it. Oh, here it is. Rescue dogs shot dead by NSW Council due to COVID-19 restrictions. Of all the things that they do, or they say is for our best interest for public health, this is officially the lowest of the low. They killed dogs because they think that people trying to rescue them are going to spread the virus. So there's nothing more inhumane. There's no human more evil than a human that hurts animals or children. If you hurt animals or children, you deserve to burn in hell for all eternity. If you're going to hurt animals and you're going to hurt children for any reason, you're a despicable, garbage person. And there's a special place for you on the other side. But let me just read this little article real quick. Several impounded dogs due to be rescued by a shelter have instead been shot dead by a rural council in New South Wales under its interpretation of COVID-19 restrictions, alarming animal activists and prompting a government probe. Yeah, where's PETA on this one? I can't pronounce it. Berkshire. Yeah, Berkshire Council in the state's northwest killed the dogs to prevent volunteers at a Cobar-based animal shelter from traveling to pick up the animals last week, according to the council's watchdog, the official local government. Crazy. OLG has been informed that the council decided to take this course of action to protect its employees and community, including vulnerable Aboriginal populations, from the risk of COVID-19 transmission. That's their justification for murdering dogs. Shooting dogs, not euthanizing them, not putting them down humanely. Let's just Old Yeller the situation. Wow. It's to use, of course, vulnerable Aboriginal populations. They love to use minorities or people that they see as inferior as a reason or a justification for an evil act. Every single time, without failure. They use women, they use minorities, they use immigrants, immigrant children, they use Black people, they use anyone they can to justify their wicked agenda. In this case, murdering dogs at gunpoint is where we are in Australia. And the fact that this is not an international news story is insane to me, because what's next? What's next? If they're going to murder dogs in the name of public health, we had to kill that dog to keep you safe from this virus that you have to get tested to see if you even have. And then once you do get it, we got to keep you safe by putting you in a health hotel, quarantining you. They're building camps, health camps in Australia. Like they're intending this public health emergency, air quotes, to go on indefinitely. The fact that you have to construct new buildings to house people, that's a concentration camp. But they're justifying it by saying it's for your health. So we had to shoot all those dogs dead and lock you up in this health hotel because we care about you. We're trying to save your life. If that isn't the most despicable and evil thing that I've seen them do thus far, I don't know what is. And I am terrified to see where they're going to go next. My gosh. So anyway, the spokesman said the agency was examining the circumstances of the incident to find out whether companion animal and cruelty prevention laws had been broken. You need to look into that to see if that had been broken. The Herald attempted to contact the council administration multiple times, but received no response. And a member of Rural Outback Respite Rescue, the shelter that was supposed to receive the dogs, declined comment. Yeah, they're probably distraught. So instead of you just releasing the dogs into the wild, I mean, they could have taken their chances out in the wild. Maybe they could have found the people trying to rescue them anyway. You went ahead and just offed them. And how do you go home and sleep at night? Be like, I saved a bunch of people from COVID-19 by shooting some German Shepherds today. Wow. It's sad, man. I wish the news were happier, but this is the state of affairs, not just in the United States. It's around the world. Australia, for whatever reason, seems to be the worst. You see a lot more commentators are starting to talk about it now. The 12-year-old girl that was pepper sprayed and arrested because she didn't wear a mask in a grocery store. The woman that was pregnant woman that was arrested inside of her house for trying to organize a protest on Facebook. This was last year, by the way. This wasn't even new news. Now they're out there crushing the rebellion. Australians have been protesting, rightfully so, and police are just out there brutalizing them, slamming women to the ground, throwing people in paddy wagons, beating them, trying to crush their liberty movement. How long before that happens here? They're throwing people in solitary confinement for simply standing outside of the Capitol building on January 6th. They've labeled us domestic terrorists. They're trying to keep us out of society, and it's only going to accelerate now that Pfizer just got the FDA approval. Things are getting worse. I want them to get better, but things are getting worse. And we have to somehow continue to try to reach normies out there. They hopefully are starting to see it. I'm encouraged by people that I know, people I'm related to, family. They're wide awake to what's going on. They can see how creepy this whole agenda is to get this needle in your arm. I mean, we're just going to wait and see how the news unfolds as the week goes on. Now that Pfizer has been greenlit, now which corporation wants to be the first to mandate the vaccine? I have a feeling it's going to be Costco. Costco is going to be the first one to say, you can't shop here unless you show us your papers. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be Costco. It's going to be Target. It's going to be Kohl's. It's going to be Bed Bath & Beyond. They're all going to fall in line. Now that the feds have given this the green light, now we're going to see it. Will we see airlines do it? I don't know. I have a feeling the airlines, it's going to be, if anybody could take a stand against this, it might be the airlines, because they would probably see the biggest impact. Hotels might see a big impact too, because I mean, you're talking tourism and travel and people coming from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. But brick and mortar retail, yeah, get ready. That's my take. And that's all I can say today, guys. I'm sorry that I had to kind of spring the live stream on you earlier than usual. But if you're just tuning in, I forgot to mention last week, I have family in town this entire week. So I probably am not going to be able to go live every single day. Certainly not every day at 2. It may have to be a spur of the moment, like I just go live on the spot. because we're going to be doing a lot of things, going to the beach and whatnot. But I wanted to make sure that I at least got this first live stream in and say that, we have a lot of work to do. We're gonna weather this storm. God is not surprised by any of this, and God wins in the end. Like this satanic takeover of humanity, them trying to deny us our humanity, will not prevail. They will fail in the end. That's why they're lashing out so hard, because the battle's already won. That's why you see them freaking out. They're in a panic, right? They're revealing themselves to us. All this stuff happening is by design. It's not a mistake. That's why when I posted that clip on Saturday of the little satanic ritual in the middle of that newscast, that was them, showing themselves to you. That's them revealing themselves. You mean to tell me there was a mistake? Oops, we accidentally just happened to have a clip of a satanic ritual in the middle of a live broadcast. Somebody had the nerve to say, that looks Photoshop, Mike. Do you think I really need to Photoshop and edit something like this when they're literally out there putting all the symbolism right in your face? It's in your kids' cartoons. It's in your propaganda. Can't you see the demons walking around you? The drag queen story hour, the lashing out, the violence, the politicians. You can see it in some of these politicians. You can literally see some kind of demonic influence. You see them to the point of executing animals, vaccinating animals, beating people within an inch of their life. Spiritual warfare, man. Plain and simple. I don't know how anybody can deny that unless you just have your head buried in the sand. But that's it, guys. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. God bless you. Please make sure that you give it a like, share it. Thanks to everybody that's been following me on social media, on Twitter. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast on Saturday. Just please don't forget to give this a thumbs up so we can reach more people, help us overcome these algorithms on YouTube. We've been getting a lot more views lately, but God bless you guys. I will see you later this week. Not sure when, but bear with me this week. Next week, we'll be back to normal, but this week it's going to be a little bit different. So, all right, guys, God bless you. I'll catch you in the next stream.